Hello, beautiful soul, and thanks so much for tuning in again. I am Astar, and welcome to 𝑓𝑇𝑠tar. So, I'm very excited about this video because today we are going to be collaborating with Jamie from the White Walls. And on this side of the collaboration, I'm going to be tapping into our Pleiadian star ancestors, so the Pleiadians, and channel any message that is wanting to come through. And on Jamie's side, on the White Walls channel, she's gonna be channeling some Pleiadian light language, as well as any other message that is wanting to come through. So I really strongly felt the presence of the Pleiadians in the last few days, and I feel that they have quite a lot to say, so I'm very excited to see. And also, please excuse me for any background noises. I'm in India, so it's a bit hard to find a quiet place. But I thought, why not embracing it? We can be followed by some Indian background music. But yeah, enough talking, let's get in. I allow the Pleiadians to channel through me and to relay any messages that are wanting to come through right now. And before I even begin, I'm actually being called to mention something about star seeds in general. And I personally believe that if we talk about star seeds and star nations, it is very, very important to be able to ground this information into the earth plane. So we want to approach galactic history and everything starseed related always in a way where we are able to ground it back and make sense of it in our human terms. Because otherwise it's actually a form of escapism. For example, when we say that we are from the Pleiades and the earth is a prison planet and we want to go back to the higher realms, like that's a form of escapism. Like, it's very important to, first of all, know something about galactic history, know that there are other star systems, but always being able to relate this information back to our present moment, or back to the earth, or understand it in human terms. So that is actually my intention, to channel the Pleiadians, but I set the intention to channel information that is actually helpful for us in this present moment, in this realm. Like, what Pleiadian wisdom, what guidance do the Pleiadians have for us that is actually helping us in this present moment? And that is my intention. So let's see, I'm very excited. Very excited to see what comes up. So thank you so much, dearest Pleiadians, dearest star ancestors. Thank you so much for channeling through me. And we have, Divine Masculine. Okay, the first message that comes up is that the Pleiadians as a collective is super vast. Like, if we talk about the Pleiadians, we talk about at least 7, if not more, different star systems. Because the Pleiades is actually a star cluster of 7 main stars. That's why it's called the 7 sisters. But that specific cluster has even more stars, star systems. So when we talk about the Pleiadians, it is almost the same as if we would be talking about the solar system and Sirius and some other bunch of stars. Like, it's very, very hard to put all the Pleiadians in a box. And the Pleiadians are actually coming through to tell us that there is a lot of variety when it comes to Pleiadian energy. And again, it's not just humanoid beings, but there are also light beings and other kinds of beings. Like, the Pleiadians are really coming through to let us know that there is a big variety of different species and cultures and energies when it comes to the Pleiades. But with the Divine Masculine coming up, the overall energy, when we talk about Pleiadian energy, that resonates more with Divine Feminine energy. It's more this energy of water, unconditional love, of nurturing. Like, Pleiadians in general, they are very, very, very connected with their emotions, with the heart space. But the Pleiadians in general, like the soul lesson that the Pleiadians are learning is actually integrating the divine masculine in a healthy way. So all the souls that have had incarnations in the Pleiades, they choose to come back to Earth to heal their soul's history. And the Pleiadian beings that are present here on Earth right now, their main focus is again healing the divine masculine, or integrating the divine masculine and almost balancing out, let's say, the overflow or the overpresence of the divine feminine. So what does that mean in a practical way? If the divine feminine energy is overactive, then it means that we are overgiving, or we are focusing too much on other people, or we are people pleasing, or we are too passive, or we are too intuitive without also using logic. Like only using intuition without using logic is also unbalanced. Always being passive and receptive without taking action is also unbalanced. So with Pleiadian starseeds in general, and every soul who feels a connection with the Pleiades, the main soul lesson in this lifetime is to embody gentle power, to embody the divine masculine, but actually with the divine feminine energy. So bringing through the masculine but in a gentle way, bringing through the masculine but in a nurturing way, like still being assertive, still taking the lead, still being a king, still taking the scepter in our hand, making the decisions, but doing it in a very feminine way, in a very natural way. And this is actually true strength, because strength is not about pushing forward and like making war and like just being too assertive and too in this active masculine energy. But it's actually being assertive and active, but in a way where it's balanced. So yes, this whole universe is about achieving balance. That's the whole story of this universe. At least this one. There are many other universes where maybe the rules are different, but in this universe in general, the mastery is finding balance. But specifically those who resonate with the Pleiades, it's about integrating the divine masculine, but in a very playful way. And that's why we also have the dolphin. Like it's a very regal energy, but it's a king or a queen, like a sovereign being that is balanced in both aspects. And with the number 4, it's about stability, being grounded, like allowing ourselves to ground this energy in the earth realm. And I'm actually feeling called to pull some more. So let's see where this is going. I actually missed the starseed readings. It's about time to do one of those. Wait, a card fell down. Let me pick it up. There we go. So, we have essences and energies, attuned to subtle energies, balance, frequency holders. Okay. And it comes with multidimensional. Yes, multiple dimension, timelines, BU, don't even try to fit in. Okay. And we have breathe the sun. It's very interesting. This card has been coming up quite a lot. If you watch my shorts, it has been coming up quite some time there. So I feel a lot of you are going through pineal gland activation, or you are really being called right now to connect with the sun even deeper. So if you have access to the sun, if you live in a place where it's sunny sometimes and not too cold, definitely get out in the sun. Even if it's winter for you, just a few minutes consciously connecting to the sun is really gonna do miracles right now. Because with the pineal activation, that is actually the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Like in order to be balanced in both energies, we need to activate the pineal gland. Because the pineal gland, that is actually the receptive aspect of the two glands. Like we have the inner eye, the third eye, that resonates with the color indigo. That is actually connected to the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is the top of the pyramid. So that is the masculine energy. Because the pituitary gland is almost like the projector that is creating the image of our vision. That's why I call it the inner eye and not the third eye, because our inner eye is our vision. Like even if we have two eyes, it still goes all in with the third eye, which is the one eye, the inner eye. So in order to have an open inner eye, we actually need to merge, let's say, the pituitary gland with the pineal gland. So the pituitary gland, the masculine aspect, the projector, the creator of the image, but also bridging it with the pineal gland, which is the feminine aspect connected to the crown chakra, and that is about channeling the higher dimensional perspective. So not just passively or actively observing. Like there is something about grounding this multidimensional perspective into our vision. And in order to be able to do that, we cannot only look, let's say, but we also have to be receptive for a higher vision. I hope this is making sense. Like I'm trying to build up what I'm trying to say, but we also have the Star of David. So that's exactly the merging of the two forces, like the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So when the pineal gland is activating, that means that we are then receptive for this flow of higher dimensional energy, of multidimensional light codes. And when our pineal gland is open and receptive, when we are in our divine feminine energy, then we are receptive for that higher vision. And that higher vision with the open crown chakra is then feeding into the pituitary gland and feeding into the way we perceive reality. Because if the pineal gland is closed, if we are not balanced in our divine feminine energy, then we are too masculine, and it means that we are basically creating a picture, a distorted picture of reality, where it's like we are almost too active, but too active in a way where we are too actively creating the reality. Like when we are very narrow-minded, or when we look at a thing a certain way, like this is how it is, this is how it has to be, then we are actually limiting ourselves. Like if we are too much in our masculine energy, we are limiting our perception. Because masculine energy, that's also connected with fire, and that's why our vision is connected with the element of fire. Like when we open our eyes, there is light, and that light of seeing, of consciousness, that is like the soul basically. So the soul is a focal point of spirit that allows us to perceive and to be conscious. That's why consciousness, there are many layers when it comes to consciousness. But again, if we perceive and look at things without taking into account the feminine, which in this case is the invisible, the spiritual, the higher dimensional, the multidimensional, then we are limiting ourselves. So that's why Breathe the Sun with pineal activation, it is very, very important to be open to perceiving a different kind of reality. Not just perceiving the reality that we literally create, because what we look at, we are actually creating it. Because it's not that things are as they are. Oh my god, this is so hard to explain. But it's like, when I look at something, I don't just passively look at it, but I'm actually also actively creating the image. But then again, if I'm too active with creating my image, if I say this is solid and there is no other option, then I don't even take into account another option, that this could be fluid, and I could potentially put my hand through it. So when it comes to grounding this higher dimensional perspective, it is very important to know that we don't know, to know that there is more to the universe than meets the eye. And this is where it's about bringing in this feminine energy, but in a balanced way. So always knowing that yes, there are other dimensions, yes, there are other beings, but we are still on Earth. And we are still human. But then at the same time, yes, we are human, yes, we are here on Earth, but there is also more than that. And so see, it's always important to have the balance of both. Because when we are too in the physical, then we are neglecting our spiritual side, and we are limiting ourselves and never actually able to tap into our full potential. But then at the same time, if we are too much in the higher realms, too much trying to escape, then we are almost too passive and living in our dream world, where it's then not possible for us to ground this information from the higher realms in the earth plane. So that's why the Pleiadians are coming through to tell us balance is everything. And with essences and energies, we are actually mastering this in this realm. This is what is the challenge. Like, it's not like this is something that happened a lot of times before. Like, we are here in this earth plane trying to ground more of this multidimensionality whilst still being super physical. And that's new, because in other planets, like in the Pleiades, for example, on other dimensional planets, like, we are all spirit beings and we are super connected to our soul's history. We know that we have many incarnations. We know that we are source. Like, there is there's a deeper connection with spirit. But here on earth, first going through the amnesia, first completely forgetting that we are spirit, completely forgetting our past lives maybe, and then slowly reactivating it and grounding it in. So what we are doing is actually, this is the expansion. Like, it's almost like drops, little droplets of crystalline light, of diamantine, multidimensional light from the higher realms are trickling into our vessel, just like this crystal, one by one, into the physical vessel. And it's raising our frequency slowly. And the more it raises, the more this spiral is opening, the more our crown chakra opens, and the more easily we can ground this higher perspective. And this is where the divine feminine and the masculine meet. It's the activation of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. And that's actually the sacred union. The sacred union of Shiva and Shakti, of Isis and Osiris. Because this story actually talks about the activation of the pineal gland. And when we talk about the Christed being, like, the word Christ actually means anointed. So the anointing that happens as the activation of, like, when the pineal gland and the pituitary gland meet, then there is an anointing taking place, and that secretion is allowing us to look at our multidimensional reality. Like, when this secretion, when this anointing takes place, then we see ourselves as source. This is the moment when the individual soul merges with the supreme soul. And this is why it's the merging of Shiva and Shakti, of Isis and Osiris. Isis, that's the intuitional wisdom. Shakti, that's like the divine feminine, that's like our experience, the experience of life, the experience of creation. Through the experience of creation and through the intuitional wisdom that comes from the higher realms, we are able to remember our nature as eternal beings. And that is Shiva. Shiva is in eternal meditation, because Shiva is untouched by creation. But it's precisely through the experience of creation, that is Shakti, that is Isis, that we are remembering that we are Shiva. And again, when we remember that we are Shiva, this is when the pituitary gland and the pineal gland merge, the secretion takes place and the enlightenment happens. And this is one enlightenment moment, and this enlightenment moment can happen multiple times. So it's also very often in the spiritual community we think that enlightenment or like spiritual awakening is something that happens once, but it's actually a recurring process. Like it happens over and over again, and there are layers upon layers that are needing to be activated. And that's why with the multidimensional, the healing is never really done, and there is always more to transmute and more to activate and more to learn. And that's why, coming back to the beginning, it is very important for us to know that we don't know. So it's it's very important not to be too fixed on what it is that we are believing in. Because being too fixed in our perception, that is a sign of unbalanced masculine energy. Because we want, again, to be also open to the higher perspective of spirit. Ooh, I love this. I love where this is going. Let's pull some more messages from the Pleiadians. Anything we need to know. Okay, all of them I'm being told, and that's what I'm gonna do. We have resolution. Let's see how we do this. Maybe something comes up. Then we have the Arcturians. Let me move this here. Maybe like a picture is being created or a story or something. Like, let's see what this is about. Then we have Cosmic Self. And we have the Dolphins. Okay. A lot of dolphin energy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 dolphins and 2 whales. So some of you definitely are connecting with cetaceans. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. So it's the mammals that live in the ocean. So whales, orcas, dolphins, these kinds of animals, the mammals that live in the ocean. These are your spirit guides right now. And what we can learn from these beings is actually being playful, that it's okay not to take things too seriously, but also now I'm very strongly being taken to sonic technology. Like dolphins, they communicate through telepathy. And it actually happens much easier because they are in water. So in water, sound waves, they travel much easier or much smoother than in air. And that's why dolphins even have a bigger brain than humans do. Like dolphins are super, super, super advanced spiritually and also intelligent. Like they're much more intelligent than we might think. And yes, there are also dolphin star seeds. So what the dolphin star seeds do, like the dolphins that come from the higher realms, is actually coding the waters with this multidimensional information. Like they are basically vibrating the waters or like encoding the particles and the molecules of the water with this higher dimensional information. And then obviously as the water goes through the water cycle, the water of the ocean then turns into rain, and then rain turns into spring water, and we are drinking the water. So the dolphins, they also have a very important mission when it comes to the human awakening. And it's more so coming through to let us know that we also have the ability to do this. Like not just dolphins are able to communicate telepathically and are able to code the waters, but we also have that power. So the Pleiadian star ancestors and the dolphins, actually, there could be dolphin planets in the Pleiades as well, even though I feel dolphin energy is more serious, but could be also. I'm actually being taken to Alcyone, which is a super, super, super high dimensional realm. And it could be that there are non-physical dolphins, like spirit dolphins, let's say. That's the energy that's coming through. And some humans are spirit dolphins right now. Some dolphins, let's say, from the Pleiades, have chosen to incarnate as human beings in this earth plane. But there are also the same souls who have chosen not to be humans. And they have a more maybe peaceful journey where there is not so much noise and not so much, being made to feel, it's more so coming through to let us know in a playful way that we're being helped a lot in our journey by the animals, by the spirit guides, by our ancestors. There is so much support when it comes to activating cosmic consciousness. And again, if we want to remind ourselves that if we go back to our ability that we're able to, first of all, communicate telepathically, and secondly, we're able to code the waters, we want to actually start doing that. Like start practicing sending telepathic messages to your friends, or start practicing speaking to your water, start coding the water with a high vibration, with a high intention. For example, before you eat a meal, blessing the water, blessing the food, because when we do that, we are grounding this blessed frequency, and the water molecules, they are responding. Like when we bless the food we eat, we ingest the blessed food and then we feel blessed. And there is very much something about bringing in this happy and joyful energy, and that is the Pleiadian energy. Again, there is a lot of variety when it comes to Pleiadians, but the overall energy is actually this super bright and happy dolphin energy. But it's a spirit dolphin, a non-physical dolphin that just, it's almost swimming in this ethereal spirit waters. And we want to attune to that frequency. Because even if we are in this human vessel right now, all these multidimensional aspects of ourselves, the spirit dolphin self that we are, exists right now. Because in a higher dimension, time does not exist as we know it. So this dolphin is swimming in the ethereal waters in this present moment. And if you are one of these beings, then you want to connect with that aspect of yourself and to allow that reality to flow through. And that's why some of you are going through pineal gland activations. Because what is happening is we are grounding more of our being again into this vessel. This is like these crystals or these water droplets that are slowly trickling in to activate more of our being, activate more of our cosmic consciousness. Cosmic consciousness is the consciousness that we are the whole cosmos, that we come from other star systems, that we are galactic beings actually. Because unity consciousness is the knowingness that we are source, that there is only oneness, that we are manifestations of source consciousness. That is one side of it, which is very important, but I feel it's equally as important to also activate galactic consciousness. Because what that does is actually adding new layers to our existence, adding new wisdom. And that's why I wanted also to bring through the Pleiadians, because they have wisdom which can really help us right now. And that's why my intention was also to bring through wisdom that can actually help us right now and that is relatable and not just all out there. Yes, a lot of the things that I'm talking about are a bit out there, but those of you who understand, you know what I'm talking about. Like this is about, yes, truly activating our cosmic self. And for some of you, the Arcturians are also here to help you with that, because what the Arcturians are, what their main thing is actually higher vibrational technology or light body technology. The Arcturians are helping us to almost reframe or restructure the geometry of our light body so that our vessel can hold more of this multidimensional energy. So some of you are, maybe if you feel called, call in the Arcturians to help you with that. You can call in the Arcturians to help you with DNA activations. Literally, you can say something like, "Dearest Arcturian star ancestors or Pleiadian ancestors, Thank you so much for helping me activate more of my genetic structure. Or I allow my star ancestors to help me activate my genetic structure. And then just seeing what happens. Breathing in the sun, connecting with water, drinking also a lot of water. But it's about providing the nourishment that allows these seeds to bloom. And with resolution, the activation that we are going through, our awakening, our expansion is the resolution of, again, old timelines or all the things which were out of alignment on the earth. By healing it within ourselves, we are healing it for the whole human collective and also for the whole cosmos. And that's why we also have this crystal and the butterfly emerging from the crystal. By adopting this balanced Pleiadian energy, where there is a balance between masculine and feminine, and a balance between the earthly perspective and the spiritual perspective, this is what brings in the resolution. The resolution in the sense that, it even says higher self-embodiment, like all the struggles we feel, actually, they go back to being disconnected from our soul. Like the reason why there are so many people who are depressed is not because they don't have the money that they would like or the relationship they would like or whatever. Like all the dissatisfaction, all the depression actually is a sign of repressing our true nature, is a sign of not nurturing our true passions or our true self. And our true self is our soul. We are souls, we are spirit beings. And if we never nurture that aspect of ourselves or that side of ourselves, then obviously we feel depleted or we feel empty, we feel a void. But how we fill that void is by bringing through more of our essence, more spirit. Like spirit is literally almost shouting at us in a very gentle way and asking us to open our heart to more of who we are, open our hearts to higher self-embodiment, allowing more of our soul to come through. And I'm actually being called to split each of the tarot decks to see what comes up. Okay, 7 of Cups. Then we have Justice. And we have, the 8 of Wands. Okay. Let's look also at the back of the deck. Chariot. The Emperor, okay. Beautiful. And also, love this art, which is the Temperance card. Okay. Why do we have the 7 of Cups, which actually showed up before? There is very much something about reclaiming our power, because the Pleiadian history, like the history of the Pleiades as a collective, has very much something to do with actually embodying this Emperor archetype. Like what I feel, the thing that was lacking is this divine masculine energy that is coming through in a balanced way. So if you resonate with being a Pleiadian star seed, then one of the biggest lessons in this lifetime that you want to learn is actually embodying the energy of the Emperor. But it's very much what we have been talking about before, so it's more so coming through as a confirmation, but it's about forming new structures, building new systems, building new foundations, new structures based on the sacred union of divine feminine and masculine. And it's actually here, it says it's the Fool, so it's embracing this new beginning, embracing also these new circumstances. And yes, Earth is sometimes a difficult planet where it's maybe not so easy to manifest as in higher realms. Obviously, In higher realms, we think about something and zack, it manifests. But here we have to deal with a long delay when it comes to our manifestations. And this long delay, which sometimes it's very hard for me to grasp, even that some things can take so long to manifest. But it's exactly in this process of actually feeling tight, or in this process of feeling repressed, or feeling the not so nice energies. This is actually what allows us to break free and to activate more, because there is also something about, when we talk about feminine and masculine, it's not just feminine and masculine, or earthly and spiritual, but it's also restriction and its expansion. Because masculine energy is also, yes, definitely now with the Emperor, now it's coming through, masculine energy is also the energy that restricts the limitless light of Source. So the limitless expansion of Source, the limitless bounty of love, the limitless vastness of the universe, that's the divine feminine energy, because it's infinite expansion, infinite giving, infinite providing. Whereas on the other spectrum, the masculine is infinite restriction, because the masculine energy holds things in place. It restricts the flow of energy so that a form can be there in the first place. Because if there is infinite expansion, infinite spirit, then nothing has form. Nothing is able to, we are not able to experience anything. But the masculine energy comes through to bring this limitation, to bring this focal point, so that there can be an experience in the first place. And it's actually more so coming through that the divine feminine is like the spirit mother, like this expansiveness. And our soul, which is the divine masculine energy, is also that spirit, but it's almost taking that spirit and focusing into this little tiny atom, and that's then our soul. But even our soul comes from the divine feminine, so like the masculine is just a focal point of spirit, but obviously spirit is ungendered, it's not feminine or masculine, but it's almost coming through to let us know the importance of spirit, the importance of the invisible, the importance of everything that is beyond form, and not attaching ourselves too much on the form, because that is again super limiting. But then at the same time knowing that the limitations that are here, they're actually allowing us to have an experience in the first place. And it's actually about balancing restriction and expansion. Because if there is only expansion, we would not even have a body and we would float in the spirit waters. And if there is only physical, only limitation, only flesh, only physical, then we are completely disconnected from our truth, and then it leads to depression or like anxiety or just a very unpleasant experience. But in order to have a pleasant experience where we learn and we grow, it's about mastering the balance between both aspects. Heavenly perspective, earthly perspective, spiritual, physical, feminine, masculine, boundlessness and limitation, free flow and restriction, and that's the mastery. And this is why the Chariot is also showing up. It's about having the balance in both realms, and only then we can move forward in a way that is in alignment with our soul. But then at the same time knowing we are the alchemists, we are the magicians, like it all depends on us actually. And that's why it's so important not to limit our perception, because what we think is the truth, that's what we believe. So for example, if you believe that everything happens out of chance, like there is no synchronicity, there is no divine plan, everything just happens out of chance, then that's your reality. Then you live a life where synchronicity doesn't exist. But if you believe in synchronicity, if you believe in magic, then you allow that frequency in. So the reality is not as it seems, and we cannot say it's so black and white. So there is something about moving forward, or like moving away from looking at things through the lens of being black and white, right or wrong, this or that, light and shadow. It's more than that. It's not just light and shadow, yes or no, this or that, but it's actually so much more with the multidimensional card. And it's super, super important to allow just a higher perspective to come in. I feel that's the main message. The Pleiadians are coming through to help us expand our vision so that we can have a more balanced and a more pleasant experience of life. And then everything can move forward very quickly. Because when we are in alignment, then there are no really bumps in the road. Obviously, there will always be limitations, because again, it is through limitation that we are able to grow and have an experience in the first place. So there needs to be some challenges. Otherwise, there would be no point of incarnating. Otherwise, we could swim in the spirit oceans where it's eternal bliss. But we have chosen for a very specific reason to come into this realm of duality, because our mastery is mastering duality, mastering the balance. This is true alchemy. This is higher self-embodiment. This is crafting the alchemical gold. And the alchemical gold is that awakened consciousness. The alchemical gold is the honey, the nectar of awakening. That is the secretion that happens as a result of the anointing of the merging of pineal and pituitary gland. Like, the secretion, the nectar, is the realization that we are infinite beings of Source Creator, that we are Shiva, that we are this eternal expression. And when we ground that consciousness while still being on earth, then it's truly heaven on earth. Then we are divine beings walking on this earth plane. And then everything moves forward very quickly. And then maybe it's even easier for us to manifest more quickly, because the vibration has risen, we have activated more of our magical abilities, we have grounded more of our multidimensional being, and what comes as a result? Things just happening, like manifestations being more quickly, or just the feeling that the universe is supporting us. We are getting out of this phase where we felt that the universe was working against us, but then at the same time knowing that it was always working on our behalf, even if it doesn't always look like that. But it's exactly through these challenges and these limitations that we know the ingredients that we need in order to brew the golden nectar. Oh, beautiful energy. I love it. I love the messages. And I'm actually being called to pull one last card. One last goodbye from the Pleiadians. Thank you so much for bringing through this magic. And also thank you so much, Jamie, for doing the work, and also for channeling magic as well. So please don't forget to check out her video. You will find the link in the description box below. And as the last card, we have whale teaching. And I'm immediately being shown a scene where right now is the time to show your Pleiadian badassery to the world. Or now is the time to spread the wisdom. Now is the time to... Because the first step is again about activating that within ourselves. Expanding our vision, remembering our past lifetimes, grounding more of these higher dimensional aspects of ourselves, like remembering that right now we are swimming in the spirit waters. The more we do that with ourselves, the more we become a beacon of activation for others. And we literally, all we have to do is just to stay there and embody our energy and speak our truth. And with the whale teaching, it's about being proud with that truth, like really standing in our power, standing in our beauty, standing in our grace, and sharing our experience with others. So when we voice our experience, when we give it a channel of expression, when we allow it to be seen, then it's actually fully being grounded in the earth. Like if we keep all of these things to ourselves, then it's not in flow, because we receive the activations, we receive the insights, but we keep things for ourselves. Like this is creating stagnancy, it's piling up. Maybe even something with the throat, like if we never speak our truth and we keep it within ourselves, this is what then is creating this stagnancy, or like just energy piling up. So Spirit is coming through, the Pleiadians are coming through to remind us of the importance of speaking our truth and allowing our truth to be seen, no matter what it is. As long as it's grounded in love, speak your truth, no matter how out there it might be or how many people will not understand, it doesn't matter. It's really about speaking your truth, and the souls who are on that frequency, they will understand and they will need exactly the words that you are speaking. And that's why with the whale teaching, it's almost like this, bam, here I am, Empress energy, I am beautiful, I am graceful, I am full of wisdom, and I'm sharing this wisdom out of love, because I am in devotion to Spirit. I am in devotion to the great mystery of Spirit, and I want everyone to awaken. And I do that by embodying this awakened frequency. With the pineal gland activation, definitely, like your presence is the gift. Just by you being here on this earth plane with your frequency is already allowing these splashes of golden nectar to flow into the earth realm and purifying the waters, purifying also the emotional waters. There is something about, with all this watery energy, the Pleiadians are coming through to help us heal our emotions. There is very much something also with the King of Cups, healing emotional energies. And last thing, to move into the age of Aquarius in a balanced way, we need to express our emotions more. We need to talk about our dreams more, about our visions more. Everything that has to do with spirit, with our dreams and our imagination and past life remembrances and all these things, they need to be voiced more. Because when we do that is the moment when we allow more of it to be grounded in the earth realm. And that's why keeping things for ourselves is not going to do good for anyone. Like, it's not going to be good for ourselves and also not good for the earth, because the earth needs your voice. The earth needs your light. The earth needs your teaching. And you're being called to step up into this role of a teacher or a mentor. We also have the Hierophant here. Definitely some of you are called to, to step up. But I feel you're already doing it by being yourself. So congratulations for being who you are. Thank you so much for being true to yourself, being true to your real self, your multidimensional self, your spirit self, your soul self. And the more you are comfortable and confident in sharing that aspect of yourself, the more this aspect can rise. And there is very much something about, it's okay to be connected to the higher realms. It's okay to be different. It's okay to long for home. It's okay to have all these crazy visions. It's okay to talk to extraterrestrials. It's okay to channel spirit, because it's beautiful. It's magical. And we have on the back of the deck, family of light. So everything we do is super divinely guided. And again, the more we embody our higher self, the more we allow these multidimensional aspects to flow through, the more life will feel like magic. And we want to have more magic in our lives. We want to, to have our manifestations abilities expand as well, but it happens out of a place of purity. So the more we are connected with our purity, the more the universe sees that we have pure intentions, the more spirit is flowing through us, and then the magic happens through us. And it's super divinely guided, because we have here 1111. So know that you're being guided with every breath, and that you're never truly alone, even if sometimes you might feel like an outcast, or like people don't get you, or people don't understand you. But again, the more you share these aspects of yourself, the more people who understand you will gravitate towards you. But it has to do something with being comfortable with speaking our truth. And the right people will come. The right soul will be attracted to you. And it's very much something about victory is inevitable. Like the resolution has already happened. And in fact, in a higher dimension, the shift has already happened. Like everything is already done, basically. Like we're just here in this earth realm where it takes a long time to manifest. But once it's here, it's done. And again, it's already done. Because in a higher dimension, the story is already written. It's written in the stars. Human awakening, the victory of spirit, the victory of the heart is already written. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Otherwise, I keep on talking for hours and hours. Thank you so much for allowing me to tap into this beautiful energy. And yes, please let me know how you resonate with the messages. And thank you so much to Jamie again, sending you blessings, sending you love. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye, much love.